Hey guys, Chandler here, back on my channel, Alternate Journey. Today, I'm going to be talking about super straight. Now, I wasn't going to make a video about this topic at first because I honestly thought it was a joke, but now it has turned into this whole movement on TikTok, and it has been trickling its way in through Instagram as well. It has many individuals in the LGBTQ+ community mad and discussing whether or not this new coined sexuality is actually transphobic. So first, let's watch the original TikTok that started it all.
Yo guys, I made a new sexuality now, actually. It's called super straight, okay? Since straight people, or straight men as myself, I get called transphobic because I wouldn't date a trans woman. You know, they're like, would you date a trans woman? I'm like, no, why? That's a female. No, like, that's not a real woman to me. Like, I want a real woman. No, you're just transphobic. So now, I'm super straight. I only date the opposite gender, women, that are born women. So you can't say I'm transphobic now because that's just my sexuality, you know?
Now, before I go deep down into this, let's first define transphobia. Transphobia is an irrational fear of, aversion to, or discrimination towards trans individuals. It's a collection of ideas that hold a range of negative attitudes, feelings, or actions towards a trans person. I only define that word transphobia just because I've seen many TikToks say, I'm not transphobic, I'm not afraid of them, I just won't date them. And obviously there's more about being transphobic than being afraid of trans individuals. We know a lot of people that are actually transphobic aren't actually afraid of trans individuals, they just show hate towards trans individuals. I think a lot of people are just like ignorant to the fact of what the word actually means. They just see the phobia part at the end of it, and typically phobia just means a fear of. So yeah, that's why I define that real quickly for you guys, just in case there was any confusion. Now, having a genital preference, whether penis or vagina, is actually not transphobic. But however, the people within this super straight movement are saying things in their posts, whether it's from TikTok or Instagram, that are transphobic. Like, I only date real women, not trans women. With that statement, you're implying that trans women will never be actual women, whether or not they transition or not. Also, some of the posts, especially on TikTok, mock the LGBTQ+ community, especially with the whole use of pronouns. With their posts, they are basically mocking the whole coming out stage that people share within the LGBTQ+ community. They are coming out as super straight, and they saying that their pronouns are normal, which is basically mocking and discriminating against trans individuals, whether they are trans female, trans male, or non-binary individuals. Pronouns are normal and everything like that, and yeah, they're just making a mockery of it for people that change their pronouns. And they're saying that it's not normal to change your pronouns. Literally every trans individual changes their pronouns from what it was assigned at birth, obviously because they are trans. So that is very normal for the trans experience and for other cases within the LGBTQ+ community. They're also saying things within their posts like, oh, I hope I don't get kicked out or disowned by my parents. Coming out is a very big deal within the LGBTQ+ community, whether you're coming out with your sexuality or with your gender identity. And making a mockery of it is very transphobic and hateful. It is a very big deal, and a lot of people do actually get disowned by their family members, whether or not it's because their parents are actually homophobic or transphobic, or it's because of a fear that their child will be a part of a hate crime. So this is not something to take lightly and use as a joke. Now, most of these individuals are making a huge generalization of what a trans woman actually is and what it means to be a trans woman. A lot of them say within their TikToks or within their captions, sorry, but I just don't want to date a chick with a dick. Not all trans women have a penis. Bottom surgery exists, and with the technology that we have today, it is very, very similar to a cis female's vagina. You honestly cannot tell the difference. I've been with a trans woman myself. You honestly cannot tell the difference. It's great. Now, yes, whether it's fortunate or not for that particular trans woman, she cannot conceive a child and go through the process of pregnancy because you cannot be implanted with the uterus. But there's plenty of AFAB individuals that cannot actually conceive child as well. So just for the factor that they cannot become pregnant does not make them any less of a woman. Now yes, not all trans individuals go through a medical transition. You do not have to go through every process of transitioning in order to be trans. Every trans case is a different case depending on that person and their dysphoria. Now yes, it has been proven that medically transitioning is the best prominent way to ease someone's dysphoria. But there are natural ways to ease someone's dysphoria. They do not always have to go through surgeries or hormone replacement therapy. It depends on the individual, and also surgeries cost a shit ton of money. So it depends on their financial status as well. But assuming that all trans individuals have the sexual part that they were born as is ignorant and transphobic. But of course this is no surprise to me because it has been coined, if you educate yourself about the LGBTQ plus community, then somehow you must be involved with it, and you can be totally accepting without actually being involved with the community. I think a lot of people just like question that and everything like that. You can be a nice, decent human being and respect that, you know, everyone's human, and you know what, love is love, and everyone has their preferences. But these super straight TikTokers, they think, I'm not gay, so why do I need to know this stuff? So unfortunately, most of these super straight TikTokers know very little about what it means to be trans and what an actual medical transition process really entails. After all, probably the only way they've actually seen a trans individual about like sexual parts and all is through porn, which 99% of the times, those videos that includes trans individuals only show showcases of individuals that haven't gone through bottom surgery. With that in mind, their flag honestly makes a lot more sense, to me personally. But it also reminds me of something else. Just saying. Now also, dating a trans person doesn't automatically make you not straight or straight enough. Now personally, I've been with plenty of straight women, and they are still straight. By the way, yes, if you're new to my channel, hi, I'm trans. So yeah, you are still straight if you date a trans woman if you are a cis male, even if she hasn't gone through certain surgeries and stuff like that, like bottom surgery. Because after all, like I said, they cost a shit ton of money in order to fully transition. And also, there are many tools and sexual positionings that trans individuals use to ease their dysphoria and also to make their partner comfortable as well. Attraction is different for everybody. You literally cannot control what you're attracted to. Some people are just really care about physical appearances of their partner, whether it's like their height, their weight, their eye color, or just their personal style. And then some people are really just focused on personality, whether or not they can make them laugh, things that they care about, whether or not they care about the same things, if they're like a big person that's involved with nature and stuff. Some people are just care so much about personality that when you look at their line of dating history, they are basically attracted to many different types of looking individual. You literally cannot change what you're attracted to. Some people just can't get turned on by a dick. So those individuals, whether they are a cis woman, a cis man, and you know what? Actually, trans individuals have gender preferences too. Some people just can't get turned on by a dick. Those individuals would not date cis men, trans women that haven't had bottom surgery, and they wouldn't date trans men that had bottom surgery. It's very that simple. You cannot change your preferences, and no one owes anyone sex. And no one's really telling you that you have to date a trans person. They're just wondering if you're open up to the idea of it. You really can't tell who's trans and who's cis just by looking at them. Obviously, we're not just walking around with our genitals about. And some people can actually change their genital preferences if they are so attracted to someone from their personality or physical attributes. It just depends on that individual. And that's okay to question your genital preference or like put it to the side if like you notice that someone was trans or whatever. Your preference is not transphobic unless you use your preference to describe that trans women are not real women, and the fact that like trans individuals as a whole are just like disgusting and ugly and just like, yeah. Because you know what, not every trans individual looks the same. Most of us do go through medical transitioning. Whether or not we do top and bottom surgery is up to us and our dysphoria. And most cases, a trans individual will not actually force themselves upon you because you know what, they have dysphoria with that part of their body. So why would they use it and force it on someone else? Doesn't make sense, personally, to me. And if you date and actually engage sexually with a trans woman without actually knowing she was trans, because like I said, bottom surgery exists and it's actually really great, and then you find out that they are trans, whether or not she actually comes out and tells you, or you just hear it from someone else, and if they even have proof or not, and then you break up with them, then yes, that makes you transphobic, because the fact is you actually had nothing wrong with her body. You just broke up with her because the fact that you can't handle that she was AMAB. So yes, that would be transphobic. Because she has the genital preference that you have, you just don't like how it got there, even though you couldn't tell a difference from the get-go anyways. So it's like, yes, that's transphobic because you literally just won't date her because the fact that she was trans. And that's a whole different scenario. That's literally just being transphobic. That's not even talking about the whole gender preference thing. Now, to end off this video, no, super straight, it is not a new sexuality, and it does not belong in the LGBTQ plus community, because at best, it was just a weird and transphobic way to start the discussion about gender preferences. Everyone has gender preferences, whether you're a cis man, cis female, or trans or non-binary individual. Yes, trans individuals and non-binary individuals actually has a gender preference as well. It's literally, we cannot control what we are attracted to, it's just what turns us on. No one is saying that you have to have sex with a trans individual. Most trans individuals don't want to even have sex with you anyways either until they get bottom surgery because they have such dysphoria with that part of them. So, yeah, no one's trying to enforce anything on you guys in any way. Gender preference is a thing. Gender preference is not transphobic. It just depends on the language that you use within your post to describe whether or not you are transphobic. If you're saying that trans women are not real women and that trans men are not real men, then yes, that is transphobic. Basically, whenever anyone asks if you would date a trans person, they're not saying that you have to, it's saying they're asking whether or not you're open up to the idea of it. And no, they're not saying you have to date a trans woman with a penis or anything like that. Because you know what? Like I said 1,000 times in this video, bottom surgery exists. I hope this explains some things to you guys why these super straight posts are transphobic. Please comment down below your thoughts on this whole movement type thing. Look at the statistics. If you find yourself watching multiple of my videos, might as well subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell down below so you get notifications whenever I upload a video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.